Hey, what's up guys? Today I want to give you my long-term review of the Alucab 3.1 Expedition tent. Lots of good stuff so far. My experience is I've slept in it, I think around 26 nights with my girlfriend, with my dog, and then on my own some of the times. And the majority of that has been in colder conditions. So kind of the true test. See if an insulated tent gets it done. So let's get into it. Okay, first thing I want to do is just go over mounting. So I got this from Jupiter Overland. They had a few options that were kind of pricey. I mean, the whole tent cost me $4,000, like $4,100 with tax or something. Already a lot for a tent. The mounting hardware is different than all the other tents you'll see out there. So in the front we have these mini L kind of brackets. And then in the back, Alucab recommends at least those two, but they want one on that end, one on that end. And with the GX kind of mounts, they don't really line up, so they sell these little small ones. What I've done, because I didn't want to buy Alucab crossbars and all this stuff, because I already had a Sherpa roof rack. So I sold my roof rack, but kept the mounting feet. Let me go over to the shade so you can see it a little bit better. But kind of see what I did here. So basically just used quarter 20 carriage bolts, put them in the slot, and then mounted up pretty perfect. And then I've got 3, which they say is pretty bulletproof, and so far I've noticed no flexing or anything. The only thing I had to do was I don't have a fairing, so with this design I really needed something to like break up that wind. So I just took a little strap, wrapped it around it, and that pretty much cancels all the wind noise out. And then a fairing would be nice, but the way this is, how long this is and set up, kind of doesn't, there's not a great solution right now. But yeah, it's a pretty easy mount, and this mounting system is only like a few $100 versus I think one of their Alucab bars is like $150 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But mounting, that's worked out great. That's been super solid. So real quick here, I just want to talk about my experiences with different rooftop tents. So far, this is my second one I've owned. First one was a CVT mount hood copy by this small company that they were importing them, and just junk, really, because it was $3,000, even with giving me like a little discount for pre-ordering and stuff. $3,000, and the tent was just, it felt like Walmart like tent material, which at $3,000, I'm not paying that. So sold it. Lucky thing about rooftop tents is that out here in Colorado they sell. They're done. So you can get pretty much what you paid for out of them if you keep them in good condition. So went from that, and I was like, well, I've already wasted $3,000, got most of that back. Let's just go to the top dog if we're gonna keep this for a while. So that's how I kind of made the jump to the $4,000 tent. And then so far my other experience has been with the Iowa guy's tents. Been around those. He's had the roof nests. He had a CVT, and then he's had a Smitty built. So he kind of seen those and seen what the quality is for most of the import tents. And I'm just not impressed. I'd rather just pay for it, buy once, cry once type of thing. And I think this is just the better solution. So with the tent, with the 3.1, that's why you want that one. You get the side awning from factory, and then of course you get the rear awning. The side awning is super crucial. Getting in this thing in the rain, if you don't have it, is just junk. And then also, when it was warmer out, we'd crack this window and crack that window, and that would allow some cross breeze without rain flying in. And then actually with the design of how they have these doors, since you have 2 layers, your main zip goes around top, and then you can actually pull down your vent. So even on that window, you can still crack it and you'll be able to see what you'll actually get a little bit of wind through. And then also the key thing is that vent up top, since all of your moisture and all your hot air goes up there, that does a super good job on limiting condensation. And then I really want to make a point. Alucab's ladder on this generation is better than anybody in the industry. Right now I've got it kind of close to the car, but if you're vigilant, you won't scratch your store, especially when you got all this mud on it. But they actually have flat base, so when you stand on it, you know, you can actually stand on it and you're not being stabbed in the foot, and that's awesome. One thing quick, you notice I don't have a shoe bag. I usually just shove it in that spot. I do have a shoe bag that I bought afterwards. That's one kind of con, is that it does not come with a shoe bag, and that's, for this much of a tent, like, come on, like, give us a shoe bag. I don't know. And then we can go over here to my awning. So when you get these mounts for the little small mounts, comes with 4. So I had extra ones. So put it right in there, that channel, 1 bolt, boom. Instead of buying the $1,000 Shadow on, I got a little $300 Iron Man awning, and that works great, especially for the GX, because with the cooking area, that just extends out. This is a nice wind block, and then if it's really raining bad, we'll put tarps on either side. So always got to have a little bit of a budget thing if for any of the stuff I got. And then lastly, while we're down here, this is an Anderson connector. I'll show you on the inside. There's 2 USB ports or cigarette plugs, so you can hook power up here, which I need to do still. Just haven't gotten around to it. But hook up right there, and then when you get inside, you got your light right there, and who wants to reach up to get that when underneath we got a little button. It's just buried underneath here, but just right there. And then right here is your this is where your 12 volts and your 2 USBs are. One thing that's kind of junky about it is all they do is secure it with some like junky tape, so it's kind of there, but it could have been better. And so to get onto space, I've got a bunch of stuff up in here right now just because it's me, but this will fit my girlfriend and I, and then our dog, which you've seen Ed. Have you seen any of my other videos? But so down there it like narrows, so we usually put our heads right here, and then Ed sleeps between us right in the middle. Right now, since it's just me this weekend, just got my down comforter, little throw blanket, and then the key is a fan and a Mr. Buddy heater. Especially when you're waking up in the morning, it's gonna be cold, so throw that on for a little bit, and then I put the fan right above it, and that just keeps the air circulating, so you don't have just like a hot spot. And then I don't think you could burn this material, but you're not gonna ruin anything. And that keeps this place plenty warm. Moving into what's keeping us warm, I put a wool blanket down, just a surplus one. And then I've got the stock mattress cover, but inside of it is an equal sized foam mattress from like foamfactory.com or something like that. Not sponsored, but they have way better foam. Some people don't complain about the Alucab mattress. It's junk. It's as stiff as like a yoga mat. So if you want any actual good sleep, you gotta upgrade it. Some people they recommend like an X-Ped, but I'm not really a fan of having to inflate something when I'm carrying all this weight on my top of my roof. I want to pop it and go to sleep. So don't want to mess with that. So I'll put in the description what I did. This is basically a full-size mattress and shoves right in, works. So you don't have to even get a custom factory one. With the 3.1, it came with playing with weird light right now, but you can kind of see this material. This is like an anti-condensation stuff, and then underneath is like a 1-inch neoprene foam, like high density foam. And with all that, this has been killer. I was running a topper on the stock mattress, but then it takes up interior space, which is where I put all my junk so I can just close and go. So I didn't like that. This is 3-inch foam, and that's plenty thick. I'm like 260 pounds right now, and that holds me up and supports me. And then my girlfriend also, she's way smaller, and she likes this foam. So definitely a worthy upgrade, so you're keeping the stock kind of functionality. And then another thing, they got some big pockets. You can put your shoes in there. Just got stuff hanging there so I don't lose it. But that stuff's riveted in, and then there's even like little Velcro on the all around. So I'm thinking about just putting like some string lights in, just some more diffuse light. Probably should just hook up that, but I gotta be a little lazy. Got my little Ozark Trail light for now. But the quality on this stuff is just amazing. Like, there's your 2 layers. That helps keep down some of the condensation, but mostly just keeps the weather out, because the outside, this will get a little wet from the rain if you're sitting in like a monsoon. And so even if the water penetrates the first layer, it's still got to go through the second layer, and that's where you're at. So, and we sat in some pretty heavy rainstorms and did great. Another thing that I was looking at when I was considering the Alucab is I heard some people had some leaking issues. I haven't had any, but kind of some of the complaints were that this doesn't have a physical hinge like the Quick Pitch. It's just 4 individual hinges. But there's one seal here, that's your like automotive seal, and then you've got a second seal right here. So as long as these seals you keep in good condition, it shouldn't leak. My friend Jason has had his tent for a really long time, and he hasn't had any issues with his. And so far, neither have I, but that's a nice big seal, and when you close this thing, you can hear the air escaping. You can actually see. That's one thing you can see where the dust sits, and then you can see where the seal sits. I wish they would have put some kind of like gutter there, but it hasn't gotten wet yet on the inside, but I can see how that could go wrong. Another thing while we're here, the struts are on the inside, which kind of sucks for taking up your interior space, but if you can see on the outside here, we drag this thing on trees and get our fair share of pinstripes, so I really didn't want any like vulnerable bits hanging on the outside. You do need to make sure you dry out your tent though, because if you have any moisture stuck in here, that will rust. I've seen it on a bunch of the Australian guys, and their tents will rot out, and you'll just have to swap these out. They're still not that expensive. And then another thing, these are like super upgraded struts. When I close this, I have to use like my body weight to pull this thing down. So loading this roof up with stuff, which it has just some, I can kind of see the like T-slot stuff. But that stuff, really, I've seen people with kayaks up there. I probably will put solar on it soon, just to kind of perfect the setup. But that's my Alucab review. So far, it's been great. I haven't had an issue yet. Like always, I'll update you guys if I have any kind of issues, because just because I spent a bunch of money on it doesn't mean I won't, let you guys know the real on this stuff. I pay for all this stuff. Nobody's sponsoring us, so we make sure and have clear reviews that expose any kind of junk or things we see. But so far, the Alucab has actually been one of the few things that I bought besides the awning. The Iron Man awning has been clutch. It's a cheap awning. The only thing that sucks is like the logo is fading, but who cares? But the Alucab has been just flawless. I am actually happy about that. Whereas other things like bumpers, the front bumper worked out good, but like rear bumper especially, like didn't work out. But Alucab, that's been clutch. So if you guys got any questions or anything you want me to send you or want any information, YouTube's comments really suck. Just follow me at GX Rome or shoot me a message. If you have a GX and you need some help on your build or whatever, I've now done it, so kind of have some insight on the industry and what products to get, stay away from, maybe think twice about But if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, throw me a like, comment. I appreciate it. Maybe one day we'll get some sponsor tent reviews and stuff. But if you like the way I review stuff, appreciate it. Throw me a like, subscribe. See you guys.